Good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. And now, for your host, Kimberly McElmore.
All right. Hello. Welcome to another night of sharing. With us, we have Sophia Reynolds, the owner and founder of Sophie's Bookeeping, LLC. Sophie's Bookkeeping provides part-time bookkeeping for full-time businesses and serving small to mid-sized companies with all different aspects of bookkeeping services such as full-charge bookkeeping, bookkeeping cleanup, year-end, and month-end services. And so, without further ado, let's welcome Sophia. How are you, Sophia?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, it is my pleasure to have you on the show. I've been looking forward to this. We've had to kind of reschedule things a couple times, so I'm real excited about hearing your story and, hearing more about you. Obviously, I've done a little research on you, of course, but
Okay.
that's part. It comes with the territory, right?
Right.
But what I would like for you to do is just take a couple minutes and tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
I live in Connecticut. I'm originally from Jamaica, and I left corporate last year, September. Next month is going to be 1 year, and I, decided to get in my own business.
Mm-hmm.
I have many years of background in manufacturing. So I was on the plane from Costa Rica, and that's when I got the moment to say, just go into my own business. So I own Sophie's Bookkeeping, located in Connecticut, and it's a rough ride, but I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it.
All right. So we're going to just backtrack just a little bit. So you are in Connecticut. You're originally from Jamaica. How did you get to Connecticut?
Actually, when I migrated to the USA, I was living in Bronx, New York.
Okay.
And then I had my daughter, and then I decided the Bronx wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just moved to Connecticut, not knowing anyone, have no friends. I just drive up here. As a single mom, I just put my baby in the car, and I drove 1.5 hours, came, look at an apartment, and give the lady a check and move the following week.
Wow. That's bold. That is bold and brave. I was wondering if you had been in New York for a while, because I could also hear that New York accent. Okay. So mixed with your Jamaican accent. So I was like, wait a minute now. How did she get to Connecticut here?
Yes. I made a bold move. Like one night I just said, I'm going to do it. And I did it.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it's the best move ever.
Well, obviously you've made many other bold moves since then. I mean, for you to take that chance to just get up and go to somewhere where you don't know. And sometimes, I think a change is always good. You never sometimes know what to expect. Even if you do have it planned out, once you get there, there's always something, that could happen, good or bad or indifferent or whatever. But I think it's phenomenal that you decided to do something that's more beneficial for you and your daughter. So, you definitely have to pat yourself on the back for that.
Yes.
So tell me a little more about the background that you have. Now, it's obvious that you're into the bookkeeping, so you have your own business. But how did you get from deciding that, hey, I'm leaving my job? What decided, besides you sitting on that plane or when you were coming from Costa Rica, what else was really going on that made you say, you know what, I'm jumping ship, I'm doing this, I've got the background, I've got the experience. Tell us a little bit of story about that.
Right. Actually, while we in corporate for like the past 10 years, I started freelancing, and, I was helping like few friends with their books, but then I decided to freelance because I was thinking about my daughter and going to college. So I was thinking about supplementing my income.
Mm-hmm.
So, I went full-time in freelance plus work in corporate. So, I kind of had my side business, like my side hustle while working corporate. So my client base was growing as I was working with corporate, but I kind of tried to slow it down because the balance of two plus my baby, it was too hard.
Right.
So I kept about like 5 clients at a time, and it was working because, we, from the Caribbean, we have this thing called susu. So I used my supplemental income to do a susu and save money. So for the first year of college for my daughter, I was able to pay for college cash.
Wow.
Yes.
Freelance. Now that's saying something. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So I had an office set up at home, and I was a general accounting manager working with corporate and traveling and, balancing the two. And then corporate decided to move the job to Costa Rica. So
okay. Now that makes sense.
Right. The morning when they told me, they called me in a meeting and they say, no, we're going to move the accounting department, and we want you to fly out to train the people in Costa Rica. And I didn't realize I was smiling. And my boss said, you took that so good. You were smiling big. And the reason why I was smiling is because I felt relief, because I didn't want to be in corporate anymore, but I didn't know how to jump ship.
Right.
So, so I went to Costa Rica for 2 months. I went 1 month and came back and then went back. And then I had a job interview set up at a university here in Connecticut for a staff accountant. So while I was on the plane, my heart was not in it. I know that's not what I wanted to do. I know I didn't want to go back in a corporate. And right there, sitting on the plane, way up, how many feet, I said, that's it. I am going into my own business. That's it. So I got off the plane, got into the limo. I called my mom and I said, I'm not going to take the interview. And in her little Jamaican accent, she was like, she knew I wasn't going to take it. She said, why are you doing that to yourself? So I decided that's it. So I gave myself 1 year.
Okay.
1 year. I said, 1 year, I'm going to see how it go. If not, I go back in the corporate. And let me tell you, it wasn't even 2 months good. It wasn't even 2 months. After 2 months, I had to get an outside office.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Well, the part that I love is the inspiration of being probably 25,000 feet up in the air, and you're like, or more, and you're like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. So
I had to choose to myself. It was like the minute I decided, I was sitting on that plane, and I remember reading a book, and I closed the book, and I said, I can't do it. And immediately when I decided, I felt like this big elephant just jumped off my back.
Right.
It was like, oh my God. I felt so relieved, and I'm happy I did it. And, sometimes we know in our heart what we want to do.
Exactly.
And you have the naysayers behind you saying, what are you going to do about medical? What are you going to do about this? Your daughter is in college and da-da-da-da-da-da. And nobody knows your business, because what nobody knows is that Sophia had 1 year of salary saved from freelancing. I could go on my own for a year because I was okay.
Right.
But,
and that's the thing that's good, because, what you've done is that even though you made that sudden move and moment, you actually prepared yourself because you were already involved in the business. It was just, like you said, trying to figure out, how am I going to jump ship, make this all work, still make sure that my daughter is being taken care of for college, and, we're all going to be okay. But like I said, sometimes you just have to just say enough is enough, and at least you were prepared, because a lot of people don't even take that process in their mindset and say, well, how much money is going to cost me, to live, because at the end of the day, those bills never go away, no matter what decision you decide to make, right?
Exactly. So I decided, I went home, I unpacked my suitcase, and, because when you're planning to go into your own business, the first thing you have to do is get a mentor. Have a mentor who's in the business for years before you. And actually, my mentor met me in a group online, and she offered to be my mentor. So she's been mentoring me since I was a freelancer working with corporate.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So I would call her, and then I call her from the limo, and I said, I decided I'm not going back into corporate. And she was like, "Yay! I told you, So I had I had that behind me. So I went home, I unpacked my suitcase, and I sit, and I'm like, what am I gonna do now? I call her tonight, again when I got home, and she said, you need to get with your local chamber of commerce. She said, you need to get into a networking group immediately. We need to change your image. And this lady is she just have a bookkeeping practice like I do. And she's telling me, you need to change your image, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I'm like, okay. So the next day I went to the office, I'm back in the office and getting things going and stuff. And I knew it that they wanted to ask me to stay. So now I'm like a yo-yo. I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I'm looking at, okay, I have medical here. I have a good pay here. The office is just 10 minutes from home. Maybe I could just reach out some more, but I really don't like it here. So I called my mentor and she said, run. Run. And I'm like, okay. So I called another mentor and she said, run. I'm like, okay. So they called me in the meeting. So I was already prepared and they asked me and I said, no. They were shocked when I said
bet
no.
they were. I bet they were, because a lot of times people always feel that it's just about money. And that's what these corporations don't understand, that it's not always about that. It's that, like I said, that feeling of not success, but that feeling of the inside. How are you really feeling? You obviously were doing a phenomenal job to be able to, to go across the country and do what you were doing. But at the same token, when you have that inner part of you that's missing and you already know what the answer is and you're fighting yourself every day to make that change,
Exactly.
And I think, and it finally hit for you. And I think that's the part that is amazing. So what was their reaction when you sat there and told them?
Well, they just sat in quiet, like really silent. And I was like, okay, what's on the agenda for this morning? What is going on with Costa Rica? And then they said to me, we have to get the month-end closing done, and Costa Rica don't know how to do it. Can we ask you to go back? And I'm like, okay. My daughter lives on campus, so she's not at home.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, it's not like I have a baby at home, and it's 5-star hotel, it's free plane, first class. Why not? While I can think about my business and what I'm going to do when I come back. So I said, okay, I'll take the trip again. So I went back. They called me one morning. I got up, I was getting ready, and they called me one morning at the hotel, and they say, Sophia, if you stay, we'll give you another package. No, they're sweetening the deal. They're trying to sweeten the deal.
Right, of course.
And I said, I already give you my answer, and it's final. The phone line was dead. I was like, hello, hello, hello. And my boss said, you can make sure you do a massage and relax before you come back and all that. So I jokingly said, on the company. He said, sure, on the company. Do all the massage and all that stuff you want to do. So they're trying to sweeten the deal. And I came back. I said, before they even opened their mouth, I said, final answer. They say, you really leave? I'm like, yep, I have to do it. I have to go.
Right, because at that point, it was already sunken in your heart. You had already made it up. Your mind, everything was in sync. Your mind, your heart, your stomach, everything. It just all came together and said, I'm done. I'm finally ready to make that move. So when you came back and you decided, hey, I'm making this move, how long did it take before you actually opened your doors full time?
Remember I was freelancing, so I still had work there, but it was kind of quiet, and it was kind of because it wasn't really tax season yet, because I wasn't full time. I was just like part-time freelance. So when I came back, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. So I started going to the Chamber of Commerce, start networking, and let me tell you, people talk about luck. I don't believe in luck. I just believe in faith, having faith, thinking positive. And the first week I went to the chamber, for some reason, the president called me, and I'm like, who is this calling me? And she, introduced herself. I'm like, hi. She said, I am so impressed with your story because, you know, you knew you have to tell the reason why you joined a chamber and stuff like that. She said, we have a radio show and we want you on the radio show. And I'm like, okay. Then she said, we want you to be the poster child for the chamber for the next few months. I'm like, poster child? She said, yes, we need a picture of you. It's going to go in the newspaper. You're going to be on the radio. I'm like, oh, my God. I said,
Wow.
God. I said, God. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So a supplier from my old job actually emailed me. I don't know how he found me. And he said, you're a superstar. And I'm like, what is he talking about?
Right.
And I said, you're in the paper. And I'm like, really? So when I got the paper and opened it, my big face was like right there. Sophie's bookkeeping, da-da-da-da. Like, oh my God, this is just the first month. You know, I'm like, oh my God, this is the first month. And then after that, you know, I just keep networking because what people don't understand about networking, out of sight, out of mind. You got to let them see your face. You got to let them know you.
That's right. Exactly.
You have to. So
Yeah,
I was, right, you have to. It's make it become your mission. My planner was full. I went to an Eventbrite and I was going to all these free stuff because I'm cheap. I like free. So I was to all these free networking and all that stuff. And October, that was my birthday. November, oh my God, every week was like 2 new clients. Every week, 2, 3. I'm like, I just started getting so nervous. I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. It's happening. Then I'm like, you know what? I have to get an office because I don't like meeting people at the coffee shop.
Right.
And I don't want nobody at my house. That's my sanctuary. So, so I got an office and it just, I'm buried in work. After that, it's just like a win. And next month, the 30th, is 1 year since I left. 1 year next month. Yep. 1 year.
That's awesome, and congratulations for that. Because you know, I'm sitting here listening to you tell the story. But the thing that amazed me is that every time a door opened, you were able to walk through it with so much power and pride. I mean, everything was falling in line. Once you decided that you were ready to make that move, it was meant to be. It was absolutely, you know, timing is. We always say timing is everything. But at the end of the day.
For me, I could see that. I remember I was someone from the chamber, because the office that I rent is from a chamber member. I was doing a project for him because his bookkeeper left and he called me on the emergency. And I was working on a project for him. And while I was there working, it just in my head, like, I need to get an office, you know, to myself. And he just walked into the office that I was working and he said, Sophie, I have a really small office, not small, but, you know, you will like it. You know, are you thinking about an office? I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, he said, it's already furnished. All you have to do is come in and do all your decorations, bring your computers. And I'm like, really? Wow. And the price that man gave me, I almost fell on the floor. I was like, God, I believe so much, thinking positive, throwing it out in the universe, and I believe so much in faith. I believe so much in faith. And you have to have that positive. There's going to be times when you're going to get scared. It's going to get tough. You know, and, you know, sometimes your mind kind of play tricks on you.
Of course. Yeah. and you know, and everybody has challenges. You know, you wouldn't be, you know, there's no business that's not going to go through challenges. And like you said, have that little bit of fear and wondering, you know, hey, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? How did I get myself into this? But like you said, that faith that you have and believing and knowing, you already took those steps. And it's just that constant reminder that you've done this. Now you just need to keep moving forward.
And you just got to keep moving. You just got to keep moving. You just have to, because a lot of people think, because I noticed with this business owner, entrepreneurship, people is thinking like, oh, you know, it's like a fashion thing now. Everybody want to own their own business, which is good. But you got to remember, you have to put in the work. You
That's
have
right.
to put in the work. Let me tell you, I said to my mom, I said, I've never worked this hard. I'm working like a dog.
Right. Well, and a big part of that is what people don't understand when you come into business. You are everything for a while. You're the receptionist. You're the babe, your bill payer. You do everything from the top to the middle to the bottom until you can figure out exactly those things that you don't have time to do and that you can outsource or help yourself, or either bring other people on with your business. So, when you wish for having a business, most people don't really always understand the extra pieces that come with it, but you figured it out all at once, and here you are still successful. But and I'm sure you've been stressed out many times where you're trying to figure out, okay, hey, I need to do this, how am I going to get this done? But you've been doing it almost for a whole year. You've been doing this. So what I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said you have to. You have no choice.
All right.
It's either get up, go back to corporate, and go back to office politics, or you own your own business and run your own ship. So it's either.
Exactly. But what other advice though would you give? Because like you said, you're still pretty fresh and new into this, even though you have all the background of how you got into this, and definitely have the knowledge of what you're doing. But so if you talk a little bit about what other advice or recommendations would you make to anybody who's deciding to come into business?
First of all, the most important thing, and it helped me a lot, and at the time I didn't know, is to get yourself a mentor. Get someone in that same business who have years of experience that can really lead you and guide you, because you're going to definitely need that. And sometimes it's hard to find a mentor, but you will know the right person when you meet that person. I've never met my mentor face to face. Never.
Really?
No, she live in New Mexico, and I live in Connecticut. So we talk on the phone.
Wow.
Or yes, we talk by email, or say, for example, I'm having a problem, like when I was like a rookie, and I have my first client. She was on the phone with me when I went to see my first client. First client when I was freelancing. She was on the phone with me, encouraging me and telling me what to do. You need someone like that. That's the first thing. You got to get yourself a mentor. And two, you got to follow your heart. Because if you see, because this is what used to happen to me. I hated Sundays, because Sunday is Monday. I have to go to work.
Right.
I hated Sunday night with a passion. If you find yourself, you can't get out of bed. No, honestly.
I hear you. I get it. I definitely understand what you're saying. Yeah, because it's like you're constantly, Sunday comes, you're constantly preparing, especially once it hits past afternoon and it goes in the evening. All you can think about is, got to get up, go to work in the morning. So I got to do this, and this, right?
I remember those days. And also, if your job, because say you're in the process right now, say to go into your own business and stuff but you're scared, but you have all the bases and everything all set to go, but you're scared and you're hanging on to both, and you're miserable at the job, do not do it to yourself. Because for me, I did that once and I end up in the ICU with high blood pressure. Do not do that to yourself. Mm-hmm. And what opened my eyes, I remember my mom, my dad walked in with my daughter. My daughter at the time was, I think, 12 or 13. Mm-hmm. I saw the look on my baby's face, when she saw me lying there. And I'm like, oh, no, this is it. Never again. Mm-hmm. Never again. Because one, you can always get a job. Two, you leave that job, you go into your own business and it doesn't work, you can always go find another job.
Yeah,
never, ever. If you feel that way, it's hard because medical is so expensive and you get medical at your job, because I left a good medical and I didn't have any medical, and I'm like, oh Lord, what am I gonna do?
Right.
What about medical? And you know what I did? I pick up the phone, I call Access Healthcare, and they gave me something, and it's enough for what I wanted for. Mm-hmm. So, and I go to the gym, I make sure to try to stay healthy,
Right.
But do not put yourself through that. Do not. Follow your heart. And if you love what you do, like I do, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. And the naysayers, when the job was going away and I was telling friends, oh, my job is going away. And, the first thing they said, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Exactly.
I remember we were all in Jamaica because we all took a trip and took all the kids to Jamaica. We were sitting by the pool and they, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I'm going to work for myself. And they all look at each other. And then it started flowing. But
right.
I had my firewall up. Every word they say bounced right off because I'm not listening to anybody. Because in my heart, that's what I want to do. I love what I do, and I'm good at what I do. So I know somehow something got to work. Something got to work.
Right. But you, like you said, you already have the answer. And the good part about it, too, is that you'd already been dabbling on the side. You've been doing the freelancing. So you already knew what your capabilities were, and so did other people, and so that actually even made it easier and really define your purpose and what you needed to do, the steps that you actually needed to make. So like you said, those people who are the naysayers and don't understand, there's always somebody who's going to give you advice who's never done what you're doing, period. I mean,
so, and it's not that. Sometimes friends don't want to see you. They think that you're going to take off and leave them behind. Sometimes it's that, or you're not going to be on the same level as them anymore.
Exactly.
But that's not, because I'm not like that, and it's so sad that I had to leave some people behind because I'm sorry, I cannot take that baggage with me.
Exactly.
All I want is positivity. I'm sorry, it's baggage. Once it's baggage, I just drop it. You have to, if you're going to become you own your own business, you got to get that mentality. If it's a baggage, drop it. Keep moving. Don't let anything hold you back at all.
Absolutely.
You can't. You just can't.
Yeah, and you're right, because you can't be successful if you're worried about what everybody else thinks and and why they're upset, or that they can't tag along and be a part of the process, because it's not meant for them to be a part of the process, and sometimes it's not meant for people to understand exactly what it is that you're going through. At the end of the day, like I always tell people, we are all responsible for our own success. It's not about what everybody else thinks or what they need. Once you, like I said, put it all together within your mind, your heart, and your soul, and this is where it's supposed to be at. You know what you needed to do, and you did it. So, like I said, you absolutely should applaud yourself every day for what you've accomplished and what you're still accomplishing and doing for you, the benefit of you, and of course for the benefit of your daughter. Because, like you said, that look that your daughter gave you, and that in her eyes, you never ever want to have to feel or see that again. So you absolutely were doing the right thing and have done the right thing. So I do have a couple more questions because we're getting close to the end.
Sure.
The interview. So first of all, I want you to tell the listeners how they can get a hold of you. Of course, that's important.
Okay, my website is sophiesbookkeeping.com. And I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, sophiesbookkeeping.com. And you can get me by email. It's sophia@sophiesbookkeeping.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn. And Dilys Victoria, she's my social media manager. She does all my social media work. And she does a really good job. So that's how you can find me. And if you're ever in Connecticut, in Middlebury, you can just find my number on my website. Come and visit. I have a nice little office, free coffee, free tea.
I love it, love it, love it. All right. Well, I definitely want to say thank you so much for taking the time. To come on my show. I know you were busy, and I know you're still stuck in the office because you're talking to me, so I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, I was trying to finish a bank reconciliation before 7 o'clock. I was like, let me try and finish. It's almost 7, but it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. It was so nice speaking to you.
Absolutely.
Really nice.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. It's been wonderful to talk with you, and definitely like Sophie said, if you guys are looking or you're living in Connecticut, just reach out to her. She is phenomenal, and I love your spirit, and I think you're going to continue to do well. So again, like I said, thank you for coming on tonight and sharing your story with us. For everyone else and the rest of you, you all enjoy the rest of your evening, but also remember that we are on iHeartRadio every week, and now we are on Spotify. So that's another opportunity to listen to us, as well as on Spreaker. And you can also find me on any of the social media networks out there. And you can find me through the Women's Small Business Initiative. Like I said, we're here every Thursday evening, though, at 7 p.m. But until the next time, you all have a wonderful evening. Good night.
Good night, everyone. We will be back next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Follow us on Spreaker, www.spreaker.com/user/WSBI. View our new WSBI website anytime at www.wsbillc.com and on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.